When we look at love from midlife, it often seems a world away from what we pictured in our youth, doesn't it? For many of us, the path has been dotted with heartaches, significant shifts in partnerships, and that quiet, lingering question, after all this, what's really left to believe about love? It's not just you. Some studies even suggest a dip in happiness can happen around the late 40s, a time that often lines up with big relationship reevaluations. This isn't about knocking those past romances, but about taking an honest look at where you are right now. Think about this. One survey found that while most midlife singles were dating or at least open to it, a main reason was companionship, wanting someone to talk to or do things with. So has that burning ideal of romantic love cooled with experience, turning into something more practical or maybe even deeper? This is your chance for a personal check-in, a reality check to see if past letdowns have permanently shifted your direction on love, or if there's a new, maybe wiser chapter waiting for you. Midlife. Just the word itself can bring on a sense of, reckoning. It's often a time of big transitions. Careers might be peaking or taking a new turn. Kids might be leaving home, and how we think about life and love can get a whole lot more intense. When it comes to the heart, these years can feel like we're navigating a landscape totally changed by the romantic roller coasters of our past. Divorce, losing a partner, or that slow, painful drift from someone you once held dear. These aren't just small bumps. They're emotional earthquakes that can shake up our entire belief system about what love even is, and whether it's still something worth going after. It's easy, almost natural, to feel a bit jaded, isn't it? Those vibrant colors of youthful romance might seem faded, replaced by a more muted, maybe even cynical view. You might catch yourself looking at new romantic possibilities through a lens fogged by old hurts, questioning motives, and bracing for potential pain. This isn't being pessimistic. It's often a learned response, a way of protecting ourselves after genuine disappointment. The real question isn't whether you should feel this way, but why you do, and what that means for your ability to love going forward. Now, this reality check isn't meant to be depressing, just honest. It's an invitation to hit pause and acknowledge the emotional baggage or wisdom you're carrying. Have past disappointments built walls around your heart so high that no new light can peek through? Or have they maybe carved out windows, giving you a clearer, more discerning view of what you truly need and want in a connection? The midlife crisis, often a bit of a cliche, can actually be a time for deep self-reflection, a chance to question our purpose and reevaluate personal relationships. For some, this means revisiting what love means when that initial, all-consuming passion changes or fades. This audit is about understanding the current state of your heart, shaped as it is by both joy and sorrow. The disappointments we face in midlife relationships do more than just close a chapter. They can fundamentally reshape how we understand love itself. These aren't just surface-level changes. They go deep, influencing the very beliefs we hold about partnership, intimacy, and being emotionally vulnerable. When a significant relationship ends or changes, especially in midlife, it often forces us to take a hard look at our core needs, our deepest desires, and the dreams we once had for our romantic future. This reassessment isn't just about whether we can find love again. It's very much about rediscovering ourselves, understanding our evolved desires, and figuring out what happiness and fulfillment mean to us now, at this point in our lives. The beliefs we carry about love, whether we're aware of them or they're working in the background, play a huge role in our overall relationship satisfaction and even our psychological well-being. Research strongly suggests that the extent to which we buy into certain romantic beliefs can predict how happy we are in our relationships and can affect our general mental health. For example, if a tough divorce shatters the belief that love conquers all, it might be replaced by a more cautious, maybe even skeptical, view of love's staying power. This shift isn't a failure. It's an adaptation based on what we've lived through. Think about how past heartaches might have subtly, or not so subtly, changed your perspective. Did that fiery passion you once put on a pedestal now take a back seat to wanting stability and mutual understanding? This doesn't mean passion isn't valued anymore, but its place and importance within the whole spectrum of what we need in a relationship might have shifted. Midlife often brings a reprioritization, where things like emotional reliability, shared life goals, and open communication become much more important. These changes show growth and the lessons learned, often painfully, from past experiences. A common trap in midlife relationships is trying to keep things exactly as they were, instead of letting them evolve. This resistance to change can blind us to what we genuinely need in our current reality. To truly figure out if you still believe in love and what that belief looks like now, you first need to pinpoint what your current beliefs actually are. This isn't about what you think you should believe or what you used to believe, but the real, often unspoken convictions that shape your reactions and expectations around romantic connections today. This is the core of your personal audit. One way to explore this is by looking at your love style. Researchers have identified several distinct ways we approach love, each with its own traits and motivations. There's Eros, that passionate, all-consuming romantic love we often see in movies. Ludus is a more playful, game-playing approach, sometimes less focused on deep commitment. Storge is the comfortable, friendship-based love that grows slowly over time. Pragma is practical, logical love, where compatibility and shared goals are key. Mania describes an obsessive, possessive, and often rocky kind of love. And finally, Agape is selfless, altruistic, unconditional love. Think about which of these styles resonated most with you when you were younger. Now consider how midlife experiences, disappointments, losses, but also personal growth and new wisdom might have shifted your dominant style. For instance, someone who once approached love with a purely erotic style might now find themselves valuing storgics or pragmatic elements or more after going through the ups and downs of a purely passion-driven relationship. Research shows that unmarried young adults sometimes lean more towards a ludic style, while married folks, especially those with families, might show more agapic attitudes. A shift in your love style isn't a sign you've given up. It's a sign you've evolved. Next, take stock of where you stand on common romantic beliefs that many of us hold, even if we don't realize it. How strongly do you now believe that love finds a way, suggesting true love can overcome any obstacle? What about the idea of the one and only, that there's a single perfect soulmate out there for everyone? Consider idealization, the tendency to see a partner through rose-colored glasses, as perfect or nearly perfect. And what about love at first sight, the belief that a deep romantic connection can happen in an instant? After navigating the complexities and sometimes harsh realities of midlife relationships, you might find your belief in these ideas has faded or changed. Maybe you once passionately believed in the one, but now you question if such a singular idea really serves us, or if multiple compatible connections are possible throughout life. Acknowledging these shifts isn't admitting to cynicism. It's a step towards a more grounded and realistic understanding of love in all its forms. How we feel about love rarely changes overnight. More often, it's a gradual shift, a subtle evolution in response to what we've been through. Spotting the signs of this change is key to understanding your current relationship with the idea of love. These signs aren't necessarily bad, they're just evidence of a heart that has learned, adapted, and maybe built up a few defenses. One of the most common signs of a changed perspective is developing what you might call protective skepticism. After going through a heartbreak or major disappointment, it's a natural human response to put up certain guards. You might find yourself questioning potential partners' motives more often, a big change from a more trusting younger self. Small inconsistencies in what they say or do, things you might have once brushed off, may now scream red flags. The idea of making yourself vulnerable, of opening your heart completely, might now come with a fair bit of hesitation or even fear. There might be a quiet, lingering doubt about whether truly lasting, fulfilling love is possible for you or even in general. This skepticism, while sometimes uncomfortable, isn't automatically a bad thing. It can actually represent a more mature, discerning approach to relationships, one that values emotional safety and realistic assessment over blind optimism. Another clear indicator is a noticeable shift in your priorities about what truly matters in a partnership. In earlier life chapters, that intoxicating pull of passion or the whirlwind of romantic gestures might have been at the top of your list. Midlife, though, often rearranges these priorities. You might now find yourself placing a much greater value on emotional stability and unwavering reliability in a partner. Shared values, a common vision for the future, and similar life goals may have become more important. Having healthy, respectful communication might now be a non-negotiable, whereas before, you might have put up with poorer communication for other seeming benefits. Also, mutual respect, including the space for each person to be themselves and have independence within the connection, may now be essential. This change in priorities isn't a sign you've given up on grand romance, but rather that your definition of what makes a fulfilling and sustainable love has deepened and matured, shaped by the rich and sometimes challenging experiences of your life. Taking a personal inventory of your beliefs about love needs more than just sitting and thinking. It calls for actively engaging with your inner world. There are practical tools and approaches you can use to get clear and honestly see where you stand. This exploration is about creating the space and using methods to truly listen to your heart and mind. First off, and this is really important, is making space for self-reflection. In our constantly connected, often noisy world, setting aside dedicated time for solitude and looking inward isn't a luxury. It's essential for emotional understanding. This intentional quiet time allows you to connect with your genuine feelings, away from outside opinions or societal pressures. Think about adding regular activities that boost self-awareness to your routine. Journaling can be incredibly powerful. Writing down your uncensored thoughts and feelings about love, past relationships, and future hopes can reveal patterns and insights you might not otherwise notice. Meditation, even just a few minutes a day, focused on your emotional responses to the idea of love, can help quiet the mental chatter and let deeper truths come through. Sometimes, something as simple as solo walks in nature can give you the mental clarity needed to process complex emotions. Pay close attention to your inner dialogue about love, the way you talk to yourself internally about romantic relationships. What are the immediate thoughts and feelings that pop up when you think about new romantic possibilities or reflect on past ones? Do you find your mind instantly replaying old hurts or disappointments? Are you prone to using absolute terms like, "I'll never find someone," or "relationships always end in pain"? Is the general tone of your internal narrative mostly hopeful and open, Or is it tinged with fear, resignation, or cynicism? Building a healthier inner dialogue doesn't mean squashing negative feelings, but rather acknowledging past disappointments without letting them permanently cloud all future possibilities. It's about cultivating a more balanced and compassionate voice inside. Lastly, make a conscious effort to pinpoint any self-limiting beliefs you may have developed, often without realizing it, after relationship setbacks. People in midlife, especially, can be prone to internalizing certain stories that limit their openness to love. Common examples include thoughts like, "I'm too old to find love again," "All the good partners are already taken," "I'm too damaged, complicated for someone to truly love me," or the nagging belief that relationships inevitably lead to pain. Recognizing these statements as beliefs, rather than unchangeable facts, is the crucial first step. Once you've identified them, you can begin to gently challenge their truth, questioning the evidence for them, and exploring alternative, more empowering perspectives. This isn't about forcing positivity, but about dismantling the invisible fences that might be keeping you from a more open stance towards love. This journey of self-discovery can be pretty profound. Before we go on, why not pause for a moment? Take a deep breath. What's one single word that describes your main feeling about love right now? There's no right or wrong answer. Share that word in the comments below. Let's make this a safe space for some honest, collective reflection. The process of reevaluating where you stand on love in midlife isn't just about picking apart the past. It's really about rebuilding and redefining your relationship with love as you move forward. This part of your personal audit is proactive, focusing on positive steps you can take to build a healthier and more authentic connection with the idea of love, and ultimately, with yourself. The bedrock of this rebuilding is to reconnect with yourself first. Before you can truly decide if you still believe in love with others, or what that love might look like, it's so important to nurture and strengthen your relationship with yourself. Self-love, often mistaken for narcissism or selfishness, is actually the foundation upon which all healthy partnerships are built. This means deeply accepting that your primary, lifelong relationship is the one you have with yourself. It requires understanding that self-care isn't an indulgence, but a basic need for emotional well-being. Embrace the idea of filling your own cup first. Only when your own emotional reserves are full can you genuinely and sustainably give to others without feeling drained or resentful. This might mean rediscovering hobbies, chasing personal goals, or simply allowing yourself moments of quiet enjoyment and self-compassion. Sometimes, especially after rejection or disappointment, how we see our own worth can get a bit twisted. We might struggle to see our value clearly. An insightful exercise is to try and see your worth through the eyes of people who genuinely care for you. Reach out to a few trusted friends or family members, people whose judgment you respect and who know you well. Ask them to share what qualities they value in you, what strengths they see, or what makes you a cherished person in their lives. Write down their responses. Keep them somewhere you can see them regularly. Reflect on these outside perspectives. This isn't about seeking validation just for the sake of it, but about using the loving reflections of others to help counter any negative self-perceptions that might be unknowingly blocking your belief in your own lovability and, as a result, your capacity to give and receive love. A really important and often tough step in this rebuilding phase is to forgive yourself for past relationship failures or perceived mistakes. Many of us carry a heavy burden of self-blame or regret from previous relationships, holding on to grudges against ourselves for choices made or outcomes we faced. It's so important to remember that showing our flaws, making errors in judgment, and experiencing relationship endings are all natural parts of being human. They don't mean you're unlovable or fundamentally flawed. Self-forgiveness involves acknowledging your part in past situations without beating yourself up. It means recognizing that all relationships, even those that end, offer valuable lessons and chances for growth. And critically, understand that the end of a relationship does not define your worth as a person. Letting go of this self-directed negativity creates space for a more compassionate and open stance towards future connections. As you work through this personal audit and start to rebuild your relationship with yourself, the horizon begins to clear, allowing for a fresh perspective on what love could mean and look like in this chapter of your life. This isn't about trying to recreate past versions of love, but about embracing a more evolved, mature, and perhaps more sustainable understanding of connection. The experiences of midlife, with all their challenges and growth, often pave the way for a deeper, more conscious approach to relationships. One of the most transformative shifts can be to see love not as a fixed destination you arrive at, but as an ever-evolving journey. For example, relationship expert Dr. John Gottman's research suggests that healthy, lasting marriages involve ongoing negotiation, adaptation, and a willingness to work through differences rather than achieving some conflict-free paradise. Embracing love as an evolutionary process allows for the natural growth and change that happen within both individuals and the relationship itself. It helps you adapt to life's inevitable transitions, career changes, health challenges, evolving personal interests, without seeing these shifts as threats to the connection. This perspective builds a more realistic and resilient expectation of partnership, one that values flexibility and mutual support through all of life's seasons. On top of that, many people in midlife discover that the healthiest and most fulfilling approach to love involves keeping a strong, vibrant sense of self within a deep and meaningful connection with another person. The idea of losing yourself in a relationship, which might have seemed romantic once, often gives way to an appreciation for interdependence, where both partners keep their individuality while also fostering mutual support and intimacy. This balanced approach means consciously holding on to your own rituals, activities, friendships, and passions that existed before the relationship and continue to nourish your soul. It involves understanding the value of healthy time apart, allowing each partner to pursue individual interests and recharge, which ultimately makes the time spent together even richer. A key learning for many is to avoid letting the relationship swallow their entire identity, ensuring that their sense of self stays robust and independent of their relationship status. So what could a new chapter of love look like for you if you were truly open to writing it? It might not be a grand, sweeping novel, but perhaps it starts with a single, intentional sentence. Could it be a commitment to dating with more self-awareness, focusing on qualities you now know are vital for your well-being? Maybe it's about being open to different kinds of connection, understanding that companionship and deep friendship can be just as fulfilling as romantic passion. Or perhaps the first sentence is simply an affirmation. I am open to the possibility of a love that aligns with who I am today. Think about what small, practical step you could take. It might be updating a dating profile with new clarity about what you want, or simply saying yes to a social invitation you might have turned down before. The beauty of this new chapter is that you are its author, armed with the wisdom of your past and the power to shape your future. This whole journey, this midlife reality check on love, isn't about landing on a definitive yes or no to whether you still believe. Instead, it's about developing a more nuanced, deeply personal, and ultimately more empowering understanding of what love means to you right now, in this rich and complex season of your life. The whole point of this personal audit is to move past feelings of disillusionment or uncertainty and towards a place of clarity, agency, and self-awareness. It's about acknowledging the scars of the past without letting them write the script for your future. Remember, your path with love is uniquely yours. There's no universal timeline for healing, no one-size-fits-all definition of what a fulfilling connection looks like after 40, 50, or beyond. The insights you've gained from this reflection are tools to help you decide if and how you want to engage with love moving forward. Maybe you'll redefine what you're looking for, prioritizing different qualities in a partner. Perhaps you'll choose to focus on deepening other forms of love and connection in your life, with friends, family, or your community. Or maybe with a renewed sense of self and a clearer vision, you'll feel ready to explore new romantic possibilities with an open, yet discerning heart. The most important relationship you will ever nurture is the one you have with yourself. Taking care of that connection with honesty, compassion, and a commitment to your own growth creates the most stable and authentic foundation for whatever form of love you choose to welcome into your life. Those romantic roller coasters may have taught you invaluable lessons, and now from where you stand, you have the wisdom to choose your next ride, or perhaps to find joy in the journey itself, regardless of a specific destination. You are not too old, it is not too late, and your capacity for connection, in whatever way you define it, remains a vital part of who you are. If this reality check and personal audit has struck a chord with you, if it has sparked a desire for deeper understanding and more conscious living in midlife, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel for more insights into navigating these transformative years with clarity, courage, and purpose. And if you are ready to take the next practical step in your personal audit, to explore the questions we've touched on today more deeply, I've created a free reflective journaling guide to go with this discussion. You can find the link to download it in the description below. It's designed to help you continue this important conversation with yourself. Thank you for joining me in this exploration. May your heart find its own unique path to fulfillment, in whatever beautiful form that may take.